What's going on, people? My name is Batman, and in the next Titanfall, when I fucking escape into that ship after losing at the end of the match, my escaping should mean that the match doesn't count as a loss. Now, certainly it shouldn't count as a win, and all of the combatants on the enemy team should still all get a win in their books, but my escaping should negate the match loss, you know? Maybe even have a separate stat for evacuations. This will up the motherfucking ante and exponentially increase the intensity and or brutality of that final showdown at the end of every match, for all parties involved. And when I'm playing on a map like Boneyard with all these dragons flying all over the place, I want to be able to fly one of them motherfuckers and attack a Titan and peck out its fucking eyes, break the cockpit, tear out the pilot, fly away with his ass in my beak, and that guy has to stay alive until I decide to drop him in two halves. I want a lightsaber primary weapon for my pilot. Now obviously lightsaber is trademarked, so call it whatever the hell you want, but it's a lightsaber. Some other terms that might work are beam sword, energy sword, superheated plasma stick, rod of impending justice, and the baseball bat that burns so good. And the campaign, oh god, does the campaign need work. First of all, the whole thing needs to be in one playlist, alright? Having a separate playlist for each map severely dilutes the amount of available players available for campaign matches, and it needs to be more than just a random mashup of two multiplayer game modes that are already available in Classic. Each mission needs to have a unique set of story-based mission objectives specific to each individual level, and every level should essentially be based on a match mechanic similar to that of Rush from Battlefield or Demolition from Call of Duty. In that, one team is fighting to complete certain and varying objectives, and upon completing one objective, they progress to a new area on the map with a new story-based objective or set of objectives. For instance, maybe in the first level, the quote-unquote attacking team has to fight their way into this military base, and then after securing the area they have to hold off enemy forces consisting of the opposing team while a team of specters cuts through a set of blast doors. If they succeed in getting through the blast doors, they have to hold off again, this time in a different area while they download a fat file of schematics. Then once they have those schematics, they have to escape to the dropship with those schematics in possession, similar to the evacuation sequence at the end of the matches in the current Titanfall. The defending team's goal, obviously, is to prevent the attacking team from securing, capturing, or completing whatever story-based objective they are currently on. And if the attacking team fails to complete one objective, they lose the match. This will add some much-needed story-based gameplay elements into the actual match itself, as opposed to the current formula of just going through the motions with random, seemingly nonsensical objectives that do not affect the story in any meaningful way. There will be two sides to the campaign as before, IMC and Militia, but instead of having to beat one to get to the next, you can simply choose which side you want to play on. Every time you beat a level, you unlock a legitimate cutscene. I love cutscenes. It was my favorite part of beating traditional campaign levels, is you get the cool cutscene, the story progresses after you beat that mission. So when you beat a level, you get a legitimate cutscene, not some bullshit in the top right corner of the screen, but a real cutscene that furthers the plot line in an intelligible and clear way, and it takes place, in the lobby. It's not happening while you're playing the match, so you don't, so you can pay attention to the cutscene is the point. Now, if you don't beat a level, you don't get to go on to the next level, and that's going to make the gameplay actually beating the level significant, as opposed to the current form where you could just go AFK in the match for all 9 matches and then you complete the campaign. I mean, it's so pointless. There needs to be some depth and some meaning to each match. So if you don't beat the level, you don't continue. Now once you've beaten the campaign, it will assign you randomly or as needed in other matches, and you can replay whatever matches you enjoyed if you enjoy the story-based objectives, because the story-based objectives will be unique to the levels themselves, and the levels will have their own unique gameplay experience because of it, and there will be plenty of incentive for those players who enjoy such things to continue playing in the campaign playlist, because it will be distinctly different from the traditional classic multiplayer playlists. And so they'll have more incentive to keep playing even after they've beaten the campaign, as opposed to the current system, which is in need of desperate reforms if the playlists are going to avoid becoming so diluted as to render them unplayable to players who purchase the game or regenerate later on, particularly on the Xbox One or PS4, which already have very low playlist populations because not as many people have switched to the next gen just yet. Now, the next Titanfall also needs to diversify the Titan options. The Mini Titan, or as I like to call it, the Power Tit, is a suit of armor the pilot can wear that provides a massive boost to combat efficiency in all areas. It's kind of like Spartan armor from Halo. The suit allows the pilot to move faster, jump higher with a stronger jetpack that allows for some actual flight capabilities perhaps. The suit hacks faster during a radio. The suit allows one to rip that panel off the back of the Titan more quickly. It comes equipped with a wrist rocket launcher and a motherfucking flamethrower. In conjunction with this, there ought to be a two-seater Titan. One, maybe you get it for a burn card, but a Titan that has like a fat turret or some other kind of contraption on the back that a friend can operate, like a Warthog from Halo, except it's a fucking Titan. Alright, burn cards should be in-game rewards that are earned and used all in the same single match. In their current form, earning burn cards comes down to a grind that is generally completed unintentionally and with little fanfare. Things like, you know, travel 40,000 kilometers, kill 1,000 specters, or rodeo 250 Titans. Instead of pointless exercises that nobody actively seeks to complete, the next Titanfall should reinvent in-game reward systems and boldly go where no game has gone before. Imagine having access to the hundreds of burn cards you do now, but earning them in the match you use them, and earning them for doing something fucking cool, and more important, intentionally doing something cool, as opposed to accidentally completing a grind without even realizing you are completing it. You know what I mean? And half the time you don't even want the card you earned. You know, so imagine things like you wall run for 15 seconds straight, you get prosthetic legs. 5 pilot kill streak with your gun, you get the amped version of that gun. 15 Spectre kill streak, you get that Wi-Fi Spectre hat card. You know, maybe you use the Vortex shield to blast a bad guy with his own shit on 3 separate occasions in one life. You get a free tactical core charge burn card. It could be really cool, you know, as opposed to the typical kill or point streaks that have been so popular in all these other FPS games. Imagine having a system where it wasn't just about killing things, it was about doing epic things in general. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's a burn card for double wall run, double Titan rodeo with a 3 pilot kill streak, and you get a fucking, you know, free Titan burn card or something cool like that. This would add an intense level of replayability, and it would provide much more opportunity for players who want to seek out a deeper strategic experience, you know? And lastly, Titanfall needs wave defense. Alright, I feel like that should have been a given. It would have been so easy to adapt off of the multiplayer engine and mechanic. I just don't see why not. You and 3 other dudes hold off a base against a horde of enemy AI. They could do it in a DLC, maybe they will. But if they do it in Titanfall 2, it should be way more epic and fucking fascinating because they will have had so much more time to work on it and shit. So you better have like some fucking spaceships and an in-game economy with like dinosaurs with lasers on the dick and spiders that go around shitting 10 megaton bombs on the voices in my head. Please remember to rate. This is Batman, signing out.